Hello, my name is Bethany Weldon. I am in speech and comp on Tuesday, Thursday at 12:20. Yep, okay. And I'm going to be teaching you how to write in calligraphy. Are you someone who has bad handwriting? Or maybe you have good handwriting, but you just can't seem to find a way to spice up your letters? Do you sit for hours scrolling through Instagram videos of people writing in calligraphy? I don't know, maybe that one's just me. Do you ever sit by the pen girl in class and wonder how she can write such crazy designs so easily on the header of her notes? If any of these answers were yes, then I can help you. Today, I'm going to be teaching you how to write in lettering or basic calligraphy. So for this to happen, we're going to go through a process of 5 steps. Step number 1, we're going to choose our word. Number 2, we're going to write our word down. Number 3, we're going to accentuate our letters. 4, fill it in, and 5, accessorize. To do this, we're also going to need some materials. The first thing that you need is something to write on. So I have this poster board that is taped to my fridge. And then I also have a black Sharpie. All right, so now that we have that, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to need to do is decide on our word. Can I have someone please tell me a word?
Gratitude.
Perfect, let's use gratitude. All right. So now that we have our word, we're going to write it down. So whenever we're doing this, we need to make sure that we're holding a loose grip on our pen so that we can glide in our letters. We're also going to need to make sure that we don't clump our letters too much together, or else there's not going to be enough space to accentuate the letters. And I mean also make sure you spell things right, because you're just going to have to redo it if you spell it wrong. All right, now that we've got that written down, the next step we're going to do is accentuate our letters. So to do this, basically what it entails is that we're going to take the thicker parts of the word and we're just going to add some blocks to thicken them out. Basically this just enhances the word and makes it look a little bit fancier and kind of adds a shadow-like effect to it. When doing this, if you have letters that are repeating, like these T's, we have to try to make them look as similar as we possibly can. Obviously, it doesn't always turn out exactly the same, but just as much as you possibly can. And also in this step, we're not going to be filling them in. That is going to be our next step. So our next step is we're going to fill it in, basic as it sounds. And what we're doing is we're just going to fill in these blocks. And also during this step, if there's any sections that you don't really like the way they look, you can just make them a little bit thicker or fix any like curved lines or such that you just don't really like the way they look, since we are filling it all in. And also whenever we're writing, you're gonna need to choose a pen that you don't care about using a lot of ink in. As you can see, we are using a lot of ink during this. And also make sure that the pen you're using is not dry, because I have come upon many times where I've done to do this and my pen dries out and this starts to look patchy, and it is very frustrating and annoying. So make sure whatever pen you are using has enough ink to get the process done. All right, while I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you a few little facts about calligraphy. So calligraphy first originated in Eastern Asia, and what it originated as was a way to write the holy texts. So it was something only used by the higher class individuals, people who were wealthy and privileged. And it actually was not introduced to the masses until the Romans started using it in their monasteries. And that's whenever it started to change a bunch, whenever it got held up by the common people, if you will. But it's been changed many times since then. There are so many different ways to write letters, and obviously many different languages to write them in. And what we're writing in today is modern calligraphy, or what a lot of people know it as is just lettering in general. So as you can see, we've gotten this done now. So what I'm going to do right now is just add in the lines to the T's and then my little dotted I. And now you could stop here. The next step is basically optional, but to me this looks a little boring. So what I often like to do on like letters or notes that I write to friends, Christmas card that I write, is add just a few little details to accessorize and make the picture look cooler. So one of the easiest ways to do this, and my favorite way, is to make like a little fig branch. So what this is basically just a little curved line, and then we do what looks like a heart on either side of the branch to just make it look like leaves. And you just go along the entire line, repeating the same pattern, and it ends up looking like a little branch. So you can fill that in, you can add some up here, do whatever you want just to make that look cool. But basically, that is what we were aiming for. So let's review what we've learned today. Our first step that we learned was we were to choose our word. So we chose gratitude. Our second step is we wrote our word down. Number 3, we accentuated our letters to give them a thicker and more fancy appearance. Number 4, we filled them in with a pen that actually has ink. And number 5, we accentuated our letters with this little fig leaf down here, or fig branch. So now I hope you can apply this to writing Christmas cards for your friends or family, making your notes look just a little bit better, or maybe even becoming the pen girl or boy yourself. All right, thank you guys so much for listening.